Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Sure. Mr. Bailey?
Present.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Herbert?
Here.
Dr. Bustles?
Here.
Mr. Brennan?
Present.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
I am here, thank you. Reverend McDowell, would you do the honor of the invocation today, please?
Let us bow our heads. We come to this time on the agenda to simply say thank you. Thank you for another year. And for those who have not fixed their minds nor their hearts in the thankful mode, we simply say thank you for all of the wondrous things you've done for us already. You blessed us in 24, and now we come to 2025, and you've already showered blessings on us. You woke us up this morning, and you've started us on a new journey, and for that, we say thankful. There aren't words adequate enough to say how thankful we are, but we're thankful for this council, the leadership, this city of ours that continues to bloom and blossom in various ways. We're thankful for that. And we look forward to 2025, knowing full well that there aren't anything but possibilities that awaits each of us. We ask it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Would everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam City Manager.
Sir, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and Council. At this time, we will seek public input. We'll adopt the agenda first, of course. Mr. Mayor, I think we have one amendment today, which is the addition of the receipt of legal advice relating to matters covered by attorney-client privilege pursuant to South Carolina Code, Section 3470A2 to executive session as item 16, Phillips Street.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussions, changes, questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
At this time, public input for those items on the agenda as outlined. Individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address City Council, and the items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time.
Do we have anybody signed up, Madam Clerk?
There's no one signed up at this time.
All right, we'll move on to the next item. Thank you.
The approval of minutes. Item number 1, council is asked to approve the December 17, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion, changes, or concerns? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Presentations. Item number 2, a special presentation. Mr. Tony Grant and the other members of the Omicron Phi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I know several of them are here today, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Grant, Mr. Representative, and others. We got the whole
Thank you.
gang here.
I have
today.
the honor of coming back to you all. You know, Bible says that whenever things are done for you, must come back to say thank you. And we know the story about how 10 were cured of leprosy and only one came back to say thank you. And we want to make sure we come back to say thank you. This council, this city has been good to our chapter, our fraternity, and we're forever grateful and very thankful. If you would afford me a point of personal privilege to introduce those who are here. Our current bosselist is Brother Al Georges. Our immediate past bosselist is Doyle Covert down there. And then our chairman of our 79th district meeting was Dr. Baron Davis, and he's here. And then the other person I want to talk about, because he makes me call him the Honorable too. Our oldest son, Helen will get on me for saying mine, is Hamilton, the Honorable Hamilton Richburg Grant, South Carolina House of Representatives. We want to just say thank you again, if you'll afford me the privilege of reading the proclamation. And it reads as follows: whereas the Omicron Phi chapter number 538 of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, chartered in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, on November 17, 1926, by Dr. D.K. Jenkins, Dr. D.D. Counts, and Dr. H.H. Cooper, during the 15th Grand Conclave meeting in Chicago, Illinois, to serve humankind in the mighty 6th District, which encompasses North Carolina, South Carolina. This chapter was established under the auspices of the fraternity's founders, Eggers Amos Love, Oscar James Cooper, and Frank Coleman, and faculty advisor, South Carolinian Ernest Everett Just, Howard University advisor. Whereas the mighty 6th District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated held the 79th annual meeting, bringing together brothers from 106 chapters across 2 states with over 2,500 members. The Omicron Phi chapter has the distinction of operating with the largest membership in South Carolina, while the Pi Phi chapter in Charlotte, North Carolina, has the highest membership worldwide. Whereas during this meeting, the Brotherhood gathered to review the current state of 12 mandated program, Achievement Week, College Endowment, Fatherhood and Mentoring, Health Initiative, Memorial Services, NAACP, Reclamation and Retention, Scholarship, Social Action, STEM, Talent Hunt Program, Voters Registration, Education, and Mobilization, and the assault on illiteracy. Whereas the Brotherhood, alongside with Omega Men of South Carolina community leaders, local and corporate sponsors and friends of the fraternity, gathered to welcome national and regional officers, as well as brothers and their families, to the capital city of South Carolina, which is proudly known within the Brotherhood as the heart of the mighty 6th District. Whereas Omicron Phi chapter hosted a variety of events, beginning with a public forum where the key to the city was presented to District Representative Al White by Mayor Daniel Rickerman. Additional events included an American Red Cross donation site, a military affairs information session, an African American Quiz Bowl, Talent Hunt, Hall of Fame ceremony, male empowerment event at Carver Lyon Elementary School, and the 6th District book drive and the QET luncheon. Whereas on the 28th, April 28th, 2024, brothers of the mighty 6th District witnessed the election of Brother Cedric Lucky, a son of Columbia, South Carolina, unfortunately unable to be here today, to the esteemed position of District Representative. So with that meeting, we had a Columbian member and resident of Columbia, South Carolina, to be elected. Whereas on January 7th, this day, the brothers of Omicron Phi chapter of the mighty 6th District of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated would like to extend their deepest gratitude to the citizens and leadership, including Ms. Teresa Wilson, her staff, and Ms. Missy Gentry, can't forget her, and members of Columbia City Council, namely Mayor Daniel J. Rickerman, brother, Reverend Dr. Edward H. McDowell Jr., Ms. Tina Herbert, Will Brennan, Ms. Peter M. Brown, my good friend, Ms. Aditi Bustle, and Mr. Tyler Bailey for their unwavering support and dedication to the fraternity for over 29 years. Now, therefore, let it be known that the Omicron Phi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated expresses its heartfelt thanks to the citizens of Columbia for their enduring partnership in advancing the mission of service. We look forward to continuing this invaluable alliance with the City of Columbia. We are commemorating our centennial celebration anniversary for the Omicron Phi chapter on November 17, 2026, given the 7th day of January 2025, in witness whereof, and signed by Cedric Lucky, 6th District Representative, our current bossless, Mr. Al Georges, Brother Al Georges, and Mr. Eduardo Barbie, who is the chairman of Omega Men of Columbia. And we just want to say thank you again. So we have this proclamation that we'd like to present to you. And Brother Covert, would you and Dr. Davis come and if you would present the other item that you have. So I don't know, if we can present this to you or whoever you'd like for us to present to, but thank you so very much. We're grateful. Good to see you.
We do a picture of it, but y'all presenting a barrel head. We want what's in the barrel. We don't need the head, we need what's in the barrel. Everybody come. Come. Come on, young blood. Tina, you want to make sure you get in the front.
Look at you going up and down those. You're just going up and down that steps like nothing. Wait, are you driving now? Did you drive? Oh, where's your son?
We'll have to hang that in up.
I gotta get caught.
I know.
Thank you. Ready, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, thank you to the mighty Omega Men. I feel my daddy's
Y'all
presence
are
in the
welcome
room.
to exit if you feel necessary to move on to your evening.
All right. Did you need to say anything, Mr. Reverend McDowell? Are you good?
He's overwhelmed with joy.
I know he is. Okay, very nice. We will move on with our consent agenda, items 3 through 11.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
You know, with the recent parking rate increases, I see here, item number 5 calls for us getting into the work. Is there somebody on staff that could tell us a little bit about this Kimley Horn contract and what that means to the deferred maintenance that we've been talking about on our parking facilities?
Yes, sir, Councilman. I'm sure Henry can come forward and give any additional detail. I'm not sure if Elle is here today, but essentially, you're right. We're jumping right into the work and, of course, having the professional services expertise that we need to begin to analyze that work for our parking decks, as we stated we would do going into this new fiscal year. So
Wonderful,
it's
wonderful.
just getting us prepared and ready.
Good deal. Looks like a lot of construction documents, really catching up on that deferred maintenance that we've talked about for so long, and also have received a lot of emails about increasing our operations in many decks.
Yes, and
Need for that.
yes, sir. I know exactly the emails
Yes,
you're talking
absolutely.
about. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other further questions or concerns? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles? Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Item number 12, resolutions. This is resolution number R 2025-002, a second amendment to a resolution authorizing the mayor and city council to execute an American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Stormwater Infrastructure Program subrecipient agreement between the City of Columbia and the South Carolina Office of Resilience to fund a stormwater infrastructure improvement project that will mitigate the impact of future disasters.
So move.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Event resolutions, item 13, resolution number R 2025-003, authorizing consumption of beer and wine beverages only at First Thursdays on Main Street.
Motion to approve?
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussions, concerns, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Other matters, item 14, council is asked to direct staff to issue a community development block grant notice of funding availability for all projects and programs that meet CDBG requirements and priorities, including city departments, as requested by the Honorable Tina N. Herbert.
Ms. Herbert?
So move.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Now for discussion, Ms. Herbert?
And I just wanted to add, with two purposes, our process that we currently have, we collect applications prior to determining what our priorities may be. So this allows us to kind of open it up, the options, and to kind of get a feel of what kind of creative projects there might be out there. But I just wanted to make sure that we emphasize that this process is not to disrupt the timeline for our current 5-year consolidated plan. We do not want to impact timeliness in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, ma'am. And I would add as well, just because we want to make sure from a HUD standpoint that it's clear that the NOFA process and timeline, which you all should have some packets for your information's sake, that we typically have to follow that's prescribed by HUD. We are in compliance with that, but this also will If the request is to extend that process, we can do that to make sure that any additional applications come in.
Yes, ma'am. And yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Any further discussion? Questions, council? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Yes. Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, if you all are ready for city council committee reports, referrals, and new business?
Does anyone have any report or referrals at this time? This is the first meeting in January, so,
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
today we held the first homelessness committee, ad hoc committee, Councilwoman Bustles, Councilman Bailey. Some great information about what we're doing here at the city to do our part in this very difficult and overwhelming issue that the city's facing, and the county, and the state, and the nation. Our wonderful Director of Homeless Services, Ms. Kamisha Heppard, gave us some wonderful updates about the success of our rapid shelter and our pallet housing program. I think it was eye-opening that it's trending in the right direction. Most importantly, coming up January 22nd is the national point-in-time count for our homeless residents. It's an all hands-on deck type approach. We are going to get out there and get a very accurate number of how many of our residents are unsheltered and homeless. This is the data points that we need to start with as we look to fill the gaps on what services are needed out there. We at the city want to play a part with our service providers on the ultimate goal of really tackling the unsheltered and homeless issue. So it was a great first meeting, and I look forward to seeing all the volunteers on January 22nd, and we'll have some information on how people can volunteer to come out and help us.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
This will be a great opportunity for folks to really help us identify, but also really allow us to get the right data points so that we can continue to move forward with opportunities to address our unsheltered population and providing the services and the needs that are out there. This survey is a great opportunity. I know most of council is going to participate, if not all, and hopefully we'll have a lot more folks in the community engaged as well. So if you're interested, please reach out to us at the City of Columbia.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
given the tragedy that occurred in New Orleans and some of the conversations that have occurred around public safety and some of the tools that the city had and didn't have, one of the things I'd like to refer to our legislative committee is our continued discussion around some of our public safety needs for the large-scale events that we often host as the capital city. We know for a fact that we don't have enough barricades or bollards to support some of the large events that we have, and that impact, I think, is going to be felt statewide. So if we can prioritize that as an agenda item to think through our strategy for how we can get some state support for some of those things, I'd like to discuss that at our next committee meeting.
And just a reminder too, that we budgeted for bollards. So we can move forward on the bollard situation to get started in our entertainment. But for the portable bollards and some of the other things, I think it is something that we should address at our legislative, along with some of the command, mobile command and other things as we see are going to be critical. Talking with the folks in New Orleans over the last couple of weeks, 100 years plus without an incident, and all of a sudden, and you think about the 300 plus events that our folks do each year, I think it's a well worth cause, and I think we should move that up the list in our conversation. So I totally agree with that.
And I was going to let council know, in addition, not reactionary, because as you all just stated, you've been talking about this for a while, but we are prepared to move the discussion forward for what we can do right now with the funding we have, and some recommendations we'll be bringing to your January 21st work session. So hopefully with that additional information you'll have, it'll inform your discussions in the legislative committee as well.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you, Madam. Any other referrals, news? All right. We're at public input.
Yes, sir, that was,
Do we have anybody signed up?
no, I might have.
We
made
have.
Jeff mad. We may be, no, let me not say before we finish. He always says he sets the record when he stands in for me with getting through an agenda. Public input. Individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address city council. Items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time.
We have Miss Diane Wiley.
Miss Wiley, Happy New Year to you.
I just came up here to say thank you. This is another year, and we're gonna have a good time this year, 2025. And I want to make sure, I want y'all to know that I appreciate you. And Mr. McDowell, I appreciate you for coming to our church Thursday. We had a big crowd Thursday.
Well, good. Well, it's always good to see you, Miss Wiley. And thank
Thought
you
I
for
was
what you do in your community.
But I want to be on that, I want to volunteer.
Come on, we'd love to have you.
I put it in my calendar. I want to volunteer. Because diapers and chucks and stuff, my cousin bring them down here to me by the box load. You know, I got my cabinets and stuff filled up so I can give out chucks and diapers. Free cases. I get them.
Well, you need to talk with Miss Hepard and make sure that we're adding that into, because they're going to be setting up a store for folks.
Yes. But, you know, you thought I was gonna come up here and fuss. I'm over that now. But one thing I have to say, that little issue we had, they still trying to do what they supposed to do. Every week they be out there. You need to look into it on the corner. That last little issue, he'll tell you. But that's all I
I'll
had to say.
follow up with the councilman.
But I thank you all, and I'm gonna be here every meeting.
It wouldn't be a meeting without you.
That's right. It should be full. You know, we got, 100 and something neighborhoods? It should be full, you know.
Should be.
Yeah. But, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
That was it.
Well, that,
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we enter into executive session for the discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements pursuant to SC Code 34782, fire services, 400 Laurel Street, and discussion of matters relating to the proposed location, expansion, or provision of services encouraging location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body pursuant to SC Code 34785, Project Catalyst, and discussion of the employment of an employee pursuant to 3470A, municipal court judges, as well as add the receipt of legal advice relating to matters covered by attorney-client privilege pursuant to SC Code 34782, Phillips Street.
so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussions, questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Miss Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye. Madam City Manager, we up or down? Yeah. Huh?
You going down?
I don't know if we need the space.
You going down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll be the last one.